I hate people, and today I plan on doing everything in my power to keep people as far away from my house as possible, because we are going to be creating a safe house in Minecraft. Now, for those of you who are very observant, you may notice that there currently isn't a house here so far. There's just a flat piece of land, but let's quickly do something about that. And now we have a home, and I've got to say, it's quite a homely little home too. We've got the bed, we've got the crafting bench, we've got the furnaces, anvil, ender chest. I even have a little balcony up at the top here, which I can use to have views of the village and some hay bales on that cliff. What? Why are there hay bales on that cliff? That's actually quite cool. The village is kind of generated around this cliff top here. Anyway, this is my adorable little home that we are now going to protect from any and all humans that plan on trying to get inside. So the first thing that we're going to create is the wall that is going to be surrounding this thing. Now I'm thinking, we could build some of it out of wood and then I guess some of it out of stone, kind of mimicking the sort of build that we have going on here. And then those stairs there are actually, well, they have sticky pistons underneath them, so we're going to be doing some interesting bits with those. Now, no, okay, I'm no builder, alright? And I never do building stuff in my videos, but I just wanted to take a moment to say that I'm quite liking this wall design here. I'm trying my best to make it so that this safe house isn't horrendously ugly and very redstone-y, and I would say this is a fairly good start. Now, as mentioned earlier on, each part of this wall, or at least these stair segments here, have got pistons underneath them. And those pistons are going to be extendable or retractable using controls on the inside of the house. And they're going to reveal something that the player probably doesn't want to see. And those things are blaze. Now, the first thing that I should probably do is make sure that fire tick is off. Yeah, that would probably be pretty bad news if they start shooting and then this entire thing burns down. So now that that's covered, let's chuck ourselves into survival mode and let's see how powerful this is. Well, most of them missed. Seriously, that was a pathetic shot by almost all of them. I think a lot of them are actually getting stopped by those fence posts. Alright, if I try again with this slightly better setup, maybe it might be more effective. It turns out that actually Blaze just have terrible aim. What on earth is this? To be fair, it's not too bad. Well, I guess after that relatively disappointing display by the Blaze, it just proves that we need a lot more defense if we truly want this house to be safe. So don't worry, I've got plenty more redstone contraptions in mind. And weirdly enough, this wasn't actually one of them, but it came into my head and I thought I had to build it. I love the idea of deploying creepers over the top of the wall. So let's see if this thing actually works. In theory, it should. If we hit this button right here... No, that's gone terribly. Can you imagine if you hit that button? So maybe we need, I guess, a few more glass blocks and maybe a few more removable objects as well to ensure that they don't spill out all over the place. This could be a little bit more like it. Oh, now that is exactly how I imagined the first one to go. And that looked awesome. Now there is another type of launcher that I've been messing around with, which is this one. So we flick the lever and these guys all bounce out and kind of explode outwards, a bit like how the creepers did earlier on. I think it's because there was too many in the area, they kind of burst out. I thought I'd use that game mechanic in these corners to launch evokers. Yeah, I think if I was attacking a house and then evokers burst out of the ground, this would be me. Yeah, no. Anyway, with all of those locked and loaded on all the corners, I think now it's time to move away from mobs for the time being and move into another defense strategy, which of course is the lava moat. You can't have a safe house without some form of lava moat going around the outside. They're made for them. Now this is looking very, very cool already, but with this lava moat, I don't want to have it deployed all of the time, because of course, if I want to actually get into my safe house, there's going to be lava in the way. That's going to be a problem. So we need to have some way to reveal the lava moat. And the way that we're going to do that is making use of the Minecraft 1.14 scaffolding block. So you can see I've kind of created a network of scaffolding up at the top here. Obviously on top of this scaffolding, we're going to have something like gravel. And then down underneath, we have got a few blocks with pistons kind of running into them. When we retract these blocks out of the way, it will break all of the scaffolding, revealing a pit of lava. And now I have managed to make my way all the way around, getting this fully set up. I am so hoping that I don't mess up and break all of these, because this is taking me a long time to work out. But what I'm working on at this point is creating the channel that circles all of the pistons that is going to allow us to actually activate this thing upon the press of a button. Here we go. So the lava is going in, everything is being filled in. One thing that I have also made sure of is that underneath this lava we also have some slabs. So when this gravel falls down, it's not going to destroy all of the lava, because that would be a little bit pointless. It's actually going to land on the slabs, meaning it gets broken, which means that the lava is actually in place. Time to make about 40 backups, because I really want to make sure that this doesn't break itself. And go. I'm nervous. Definitely feels hasn't worked. What has happened here? Everything is still powered. Ah. Okay, let's try that one again. And go. Oh, wow, that is a lag spike, but that has worked perfectly. That is exactly how I imagined it, and that would be an awful situation to be in. Right, okay, I'm going to fill in all of these blocks right here. Should we make these obsidian? Yeah, I feel like all the surrounding blocks should probably be obsidian to make sure that the player has a really hard time getting out of this place. I would say this is looking suitably evil. Yeah, I would not want to fall in here. I guess while we're at it, there's a few other additions that we can make to make life a little bit more difficult for anyone trying to access. Number one is berry bushes. I'm also thinking wither roses. Don't these things give you the wither effect? They seem like they'd be pretty good to have surrounding your base. One detail that I have somehow missed is the fact that we, as the player who actually owns this house, still need to be able to access it. So I've created this pathway out the front where everything splits, which actually means that it increases the chances of the player actually coming through this area, which means that we can put more defenses up here. But the way that I want to have access to this place is by using a slime block launcher that then launches us up and over the wall. But the way that we're going to activate that is of course by using some form of keycard reader. And that, it turns out, is far easier said than done. You see, there is actually quite a few redstone contraptions around in this area here, so what I've had to do is have the keycard get placed inside this dropper. The dropper then shoots it out into this hopper right here, and then this is the circuit that works out if it's the correct keycard and all that sort of thing, and then it will retract and re-extend our piston. Now the reason that I want the piston to retract and then re-extend is so that a player doesn't run up, place in a button, hit it, and be launched immediately over our wall, because that would be a bit of a security flaw. So let's give this a go. This is our extremely cryptic keycard, and if we just place it in there, stand on top of the slime block. Okay, I might need to work on the timings quickly. This should be a tiny bit better. So we hit the button, and we drop down, and then we pop back up. Perfect. So that is the way that I want to get into my real life house. You know what would be perfect for up here, on this area? A minecart dispenser. Imagine how cool it would be if we could have minecart dispensers in Minecraft. So you'd have a minecart going around like this. The dispenser would be pointed outwards. It will be shooting arrows as it cycles around. That would be sweet. Why isn't that a thing? If minecart furnaces are a thing, then minecart dispensers can definitely be a thing. But considering we don't have those, these little strategically placed enchanted bows are going to have to do the trick. It's just a really good bow. It's up here so that if we ever land on the balcony, we see people come in, we can pick it up and start firing. Not exactly exciting from a redstone or technical perspective, but hey, they'll come in handy. So I would say that's enough defense for the outside of this thing. So now we're working on worst case scenario situations where a player has managed to get on the inside of here. What I thought we'd do is start throwing in some obstacles that if they stand on them, they're going to die. And we're going to make use of this game mechanic right here. So we have a piston, we're going to redirect that redstone signal, and then when this piston gets updated using string, it will instantly retract, and then we're going to use this piston to move that piston out the way so they drop through into lava. It's just working out how to do it. This could actually be a smart way to do it if it functions. So if we place in this lever right here, and then we update this piston making use of string, Maybe not. A small amount of head scratching later. I think this could be the way to do it. It's a tiny bit bulkier than I was expecting, but if we stand on this string, I mean, everything happens pretty fast. You're going to have to react quickly to that one. And now with all of them placed in, there's plenty of opportunities to make a mistake. You just have to jump over this wall slightly incorrectly, land on one of those, and you're going to be in trouble. Now, I think one thing that all safe houses need is a nuclear button. Okay, you need a button that you can press that's kind of, it's like a kamikaze button. It's like, you know what? There's people in here, they're destroying the place, they've managed to get into my house. If I press this button right here, I'm taking myself, everything in the house, and everyone in it with me. Now, do we use lava, where you will definitely lose all your items, or do you use something like, I guess if you just had a big drop fall and then hoppers down at the bottom, you can actually collect all of their stuff. It can actually work out quite well. Yeah, this is much, much better, and I'm thinking that actually the house up at the top is sort of a dummy house. Like, we have some good things in there, but nothing too crazy. I actually think the house should be somewhere down here, and you have a bed down at the bottom here. So you're going to respawn down here immediately, pick up the stuff, and probably head off into the distance. And you could have your base. And I think I've had a bit of a revelation here, because you can have a bed and actually a small base down here. That house up at the top is kind of like a dummy house. It's like it's a decoy, whereas your actual base is down here. So when you die, you respawn, pick up all their stuff, and just run off into the distance. And I'm taking this idea very, very seriously. So I've just placed in a redstone torch key right here. And we're going to run the output of that into this piston, so that if we're walking past and we place in a redstone torch, that will open up this little system, and then we can drop through onto this ladder. That ladder then drops us down into this corridor, which takes us into this tiny little base area here. So this is where we keep all of our valuables, and we even have a little glass window so that we can see where the players have dropped through. Oh, and of course, if we want to get out of this place, then all we have to do is hit this button right here, and we can pop out onto the surface, and then of course everything is completely hidden away. So there we go. I would say we have got ourselves a pretty decent safe house set up right here. We have got a fully functioning blaze turret system. We've got creepers that get shot out over the walls. We also have vindicators or evokers that pop out of the ground and explode all over the place. We've got a toggleable lava moat, which, let's be honest, looks absolutely fantastic when it all activates. We've got little areas that you can't stand on that will drop the player into lava. We also have tactically deployed bows around the top, not really redstone related, but definitely helpful to have. And then we also have a destruction button. Oh my word, that's even worse. That is worse than I was expecting. Of course, the blaze have escaped. So now, if you haven't fallen into the hole, you're quickly going to get shot at by those blaze and eventually probably make your way into it. You're going to die. The player who owns the safe house is then going to pick up all your stuff because it's ended up in these hoppers. He's going to take it, run off into the sunset, never to be seen again. It's perfect. So there we have it, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please roll to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and if you can't tell, throughout this entire video, I've been getting progressively iller to the point that my throat is basically the size of a pea. I don't know what's happened to it. It's really bad.